This video will go over the subject of diabetes and hypoglycemia as covered in the book The Power of Your Metabolism by Frank Suarez. Diabetes is a condition in which the body maintains higher than normal glucose levels. For example, normal levels of glucose are between 75 and 125 milligrams per deciliter. Diabetics, however, maintain glucose levels of 130 milligrams per deciliter and in some cases can get up to 500 milligrams, at which point the person can go unconscious. As you may already know, there are two types of diabetes, type 1 and type 2. Type 2 diabetes consists of 90% of the diabetic population. With type 2 diabetes, the body has lost its ability to process refined carbohydrates. The pancreas does produce insulin, but the body has become resistant to it and does not use it efficiently to lower glucose levels in the blood. On the other hand, only 10% of diabetics have type 1 diabetes. In this case, the pancreas no longer produces insulin and the person affected needs to use insulin injections in order to control their blood sugar levels. Diabetes is growing at a very fast rate. In 1980, there were approximately 5 million diagnosed diabetics. However, in 2011, the amount went up to just over 20 million. As a note, no part of the population is as sick as diabetics, as they tend to suffer from the most heart attacks, loss of vision, and an array of other health problems. Diabetic men in particular can even become sexually impotent. Not to mention, at least 85% of diabetics are overweight or obese. According to most scientific quote-unquote discoveries, diabetes tends to be primarily linked to genes and hereditary factors, leaving no hope for a possible solution. So what can be done to control diabetes? From observation, diabetics simply have an inability to process refined carbohydrates. In other words, when a diabetic consumes carbohydrates like bread, pasta, sugar, potatoes, or any other starchy food, they run into trouble. On the other hand, when they consume less starchy carbohydrates like vegetables and salads, they don't have problems. In short, refined carbohydrates are deadly for diabetics. Controlling diabetes is completely related to controlling one's consumption of refined carbohydrates. However, diabetics shouldn't be tricked by products labeled sugar-free that, in reality, are still high in refined carbohydrates. On a similar subject, hypoglycemia or low blood sugar is where the body starts to reject refined carbohydrates. Diabetes, then, is the final stage of the problem, where the body is completely unable to utilize refined carbohydrates. Those suffering from hypoglycemia are in a favorable position, as they can still avoid diabetes. But in order to do so, they need to stop forcing their body to accept refined carbohydrates that it doesn't want. In summary, by reducing your intake of refined carbohydrates, such as with the 2x1 or 3x1 diet, you can control your diabetes. In the same way, if you experience hypoglycemia, you actually have a chance at preventing diabetes. To learn more about this, read the book The Power of Your Metabolism or visit www.thepowerofyourmetabolism.com.